Rigetti. It's there's a little quantum bubble going on right now. We're trying to pop it. All right, so this is basically a one-drug company, as much as I'm sure they'd like us to think otherwise. I think you can short Rigetti, yeah. Rigetti basically is nothing, especially if you have one of the $20 or $40 ones. I'm sure somebody will take it off your hands right now. The FDA doesn't release data, they make decisions. Companies release data. If the FDA has a decision to make, they typically will try to get it done by the end of the year before holidays. Fair price for Rigetti, I hate to say, is 0. IonQ actually has a business. It's a small business that's probably going to go away, but there is a business there. It might be worth, I don't know, $5, $10. FDA tends not to do after Friday, but sometimes, yeah. All right, we're looking at Corvus, whether you like it or not. Rigetti, shorting Rigetti. Rigetti. Rugging everyone soon. I don't know, maybe Quantum has another few days of rally, but there's no way this rally gets sustained. This is just going to collapse on itself very soon. All right, we got to read about ITK. So even if AD fails, isn't PTCL worth something? Corvus has one investigational drug called 𝗘𝗿𝗊𝗘𝗧𝗏. Not much. All the excitements around having an atopic dermatitis pill. Randomized placebo-controlled phase 1, Jesus Christ. All right. Have you looked at the CMV vaccine as well? Catalysts for index inclusion. Come on, Jeremy. I'm actually bearish on Bitcoin, at least in the short run. If Bitcoin goes to 75K or 50K, MicroStrategy will be at 100. Yeah, you got to look at that CMV drug. That could be a big drug as well. Oh man, Humphrey, I had so many. I was a video game addict. I really liked the Madden series. Madden 96, Madden 97, Madden 98. Those are really great. I also loved Civilization 2. I was a big Half-Life guy. Interactive Brokers is very good. TD Ameritrade's good too. Oh, you like RPGs? I loved RPGs too. I liked this Chrono Trigger. I wasn't like huge into Final Fantasy. But are we the same age? I think we might be the same age. Maybe you're a little younger. I remember GTA 1 and 2. All right, let me get to work. Okay, so what does this drug look like? I always want to look at my poor man's chemistry. See how they discovered it and all kinds of stuff like that. This is a big boy. This is a strange looking drug. Cyclopropane, ketone. This probably gets cleaved. I don't know what this is for. I'm going to pardon SBF. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. It's not that bad. He's going to give me $1 billion. I think IonQ and Rigetti are all going to collapse. Let's see if we can find some assays or maybe even some patent. What is the history of Corvus anyway? I type into Godel. For anybody new to it, I press the backtick key. So let me see if I can get a picture of a keyboard here. The backtick key is that key. Sometimes called tilde or tilde. This key here. Next to the one above tab, press that, and that activates the terminal. If your keyboard doesn't have one of those keys, we actually do have a setting for you to remap it. Yeah, I closed all my shorts in CADL. I lost a small amount. I'm just gonna ignore it. All right, so anyway, press that backtick key, type in CRVS, that's the ticker. Then you type F8, which is equity on the Bloomberg terminal. You can type tab as well in our system, and we're gonna make it even more kind of flexible. And then CF is for company filings, and that's also backward compatible with the legacy system. And then you have, yeah, there are German keyboards without them, Rumana. Many countries have different kinds of keyboards. Doesn't exactly look like ATP, but you know, it usually does all the pardons at once and then goes on vacation. Like, it's possible there's some last minute push to pardon SBF, but very unlikely. MicroStrategy is down. So anyway, we're going to go back. They filed Form D in 2014 and 2015, raising money privately. They filed an IPO registration in 2016, and it looks like they went public in 2016. Let's read the IPO registration filing, the so-called S1. Looks like the adenosine drug was their main lead product. Here's the ITK inhibitors. So I wonder if they develop this in-house. Yeah, looks like it. And they're covalent. That's hence the sulfur, I guess. So I'm going to go to the patent website, patents, search patents, patent public search, basic search, and I'm going to look for assignee name, and I'm type Corvus. It's a pretty buggy site. And we got a couple results here. Oh, actually, we need assignee name. Otherwise, we'll get a bunch of results we don't want. There's more than one Corvus, but in terms of pharma, it's like a battery company or something. But here is our, this might be it. This might also be the adenosine drug. You really want to get to know a drug, you got to look at the patents. This doesn't match the drug we just looked at, but never say never. A lot of synthesis. This looks like a different drug. This is somewhat humorous in that they don't ever disclose a disease in here, which usually is not a good idea. This is a BTK patent? Don't tell me this is a BTK inhibitor too. I've never shorted SoundHound. Okay, no heptane. These are BTK. Are they coming out with a BTK inhibitor? I'm not sure quantum computing will ever be ready. I love quantum computing, by the way. My vision for 𝗘𝗏𝗘𝗢 is to build the biggest, most successful financial information company of all time. Here's ITK, BTK, JAK3, selectivity. So I see a BTK patent, and they probably have some, these are starting to look like some of those molecules. I don't see any of the thio groups. We're getting closer, somewhat closer. Some of these are really explosive chemistry. Yeah, these are like fundamentally different. Wait, I saw some thios. Yeah, I like it. Keros is definitely a good management team. I'm not sure that drug is dead either. There's a lot of compounds in here. Yeah, we have one company, and 𝗘𝗏𝗘 is the product we're focused on. I'm not going to give up on AI doctors. I do think there's some long-term AI health app that can be made. What exactly does it look like and how does it work? We'll see. Okay, so this feels like more of a BTK patent. Here's the ITK patent, 2021. The problem with searching and stuff like that is people who are looking for health information sometimes don't know what they're looking for. And GUPTA forces you to answer a bunch of questions about yourself so that it can give you a better conversation. Whereas most of the GPTs are like RLHF to give you these really long answers instead of just being like, if somebody asks something like, do I have Duchenne muscular dystrophy? And if they're a woman, they can't have that disease, basically. It's an X-linked disease. So like sometimes the doctor has to take history for a reason. In fact, it's the first thing you learn in medical school is how to take history. So people don't know how to answer those questions necessarily. So mimicking an appointment with a doctor, I think, is a good idea. Well, in the long run, I think accessibility is the short run, Junior. In the long run, we are just more innovative. We're more dedicated. You have the dog in you. You can beat any big company. Okay, so here's the core structure, and this is exactly the drug we are interested in, soquelitinib. So this is a TEC kinase family. So the question is there selectivity, or are we analyzing a BTK inhibitor that's also an ITK inhibitor? Yes, Junior, very serious. Yeah, Rigetti's all taken. Sorry, I did that. So hopefully you don't have to go through that. IonQ. These companies are just science experiments. Okay, so we're talking about CIS-442. I love quantum mechanics and I love quantum computing, the idea, but if you're paying $7 billion for a chunk of IonQ, you're insane. IonQ in the private markets, just like a year or two ago, they were concerned they could even raise money at all. So you're definitely if you're buying it now at $7 billion. You probably could have had it for $300 million. Yeah, Joe Springer did some private calls for his subscribers, but yeah, nothing public, which is crazy. I mean, it's just crazy. Is he doing any updates at all? Like, I don't know. You have to say something. Just say I got it wrong. Like, what's wrong with you? This whole stream is about cassava. This is my favorite, though. This is the GOAT. This is my quant.
There is so much to get caught up on with cassava sciences. It is time for the State of the 𝗘𝗏 address. We got a lot to cover. Let's dive in. Let's dive in and see this thing. The State of the 𝗘𝗏 address, and it is all.
He's so proud of himself for coming up with this funny idea. This is a motel. Is he living out of a suitcase? I subscribe to him. I sent him some money. You guys should all subscribe to him. Look at all of these are on cassava. And some other dogs. Did he delete videos? I think he did. Oh, I think a lot of these were streams. Wait, he was trying to tie Sava in Galt? We need to study this guy. Made 500 videos on cassava. Multi-baggers. Yeah, it's definitely a multi-bagger, all right. You bagged the whole subscriber base. You bagged them. Oh man, 408 pages, boys. 408. I could read every page. I can't make stocks go up and down. You gotta be patient. Okay, here's some drugs that look similar. In fact, these are, other than the heptane, these are it. There's the heptane. This is a high quality patent. This is a high quality drug discovery patent. The cassava patent looked nothing like this. This is how you can tell. You pick up these subtle hints. You know, you need a lot of time in the industry to know the difference. If your composition of matter patent isn't 400 pages, ain't gonna make it. How do you put 408 pages in AI and get something useful? I know what I'm looking for. Synthesis. I'd like to see some kind of, wait. No, these are just mass ratios. I was hoping this would be affinity. Mass spectrometry, mass to charge. Any mass spec enjoyers in the chat? Ah, here it is. On page 337, the goods. These are the goods. Johnny, we got it. Okay. No, we need a heptane. 7-member ring. Got a mass spec for the crib. McDonald's, I order a McRib. Okay. Compound 25 looks like it's it, maybe. Flip this mirror image in your head. Cyclopropane does not have the methyl group coming out of the cycloheptane, substituted cycloheptane. Close, no cigar. There is close, no cigar. I want to know what are these A, B, and C stand for. Ah, it says on the top. IC50, A is less than 10 nanomolar. So this is ITK less than 10 nanomolar. TXK less than 10 nanomolar. 3.4 selectivity between these two, so basically the same. No, wait, this isn't compound 46. It's not compound 46, it's compound 47. There it is, 54, compound 54. And C is between 100 and 1,000. And they're saying compound 44 is C. And the relative affinity is 117x selectivity. Compound 44 is also not a JAK inhibitor, but BTK is between 100 and 1,000 nanomolar. So I'm comfortable this is a straight ITK inhibitor. It might have some BTK affinity, but probably nothing. Okay, so patent life 2038. 3,000 results for Corvus, Jesus Christ. Okay. Looks like they did not write a paper on how they discovered it. I mean, I could look another way, I guess. My average on Rigetti is 707, and I'm very happy to short more at that price. It's funny because, like, you take your kid to the movies, you're hoping that they enjoy the movie, but you ruin it because you're yelling at the movie guy. I remember one, I mean, it's weird what sticks in your memory, right? But I remember there was a place in New York called King's Plaza, and they had a big movie theater there, and we'd go watch some movies. And the thing I remember, one of the things I remember from childhood is my dad yelling at this poor movie person. And because the theater that they stuck us in was like this little tiny theater. My dad wanted like the big theater experience. And he was so upset, and I was just like, this is ruining the, you know, Oh, there's a polymarket bet for MicroStrategy. Interesting. That's a really good BD. I mean, he just, you know, lost his temper a lot. And in this case, you know, you just kind of, if you're taking your kid to the movie, you're theoretically trying to make them happy. But it was just one of these things where it didn't make, wasn't making me happy. Hearing all this yelling and stuff. Yeah, VKTX. It's our favorite long that's gone to 0. I don't think so. I don't know BDACL. I have no clue. Maybe, right? Maybe. I've always been very permissive to those types of situations. I always say to myself, all right, whatever. So I kind of let myself get rolled over and taken advantage of quite a lot. That's one of my big weaknesses. I don't put my foot down, and at least I'm aware of it. You should always try to become aware of your weaknesses. I mean, I can put my foot down, obviously, but I guess it's more subtle than that. It's more about like some combination of forgiving and trying to preserve status quo when that's not necessarily the best thing for the situation. Did you see Naktrab is going to sue Cassava? I thought that was the cringiest thing I've ever seen. Feel bad about my actions? Who you think you're talking to? Feel bad about my actions? Me? What actions? At least there's somebody that still believes that narrative. Well, hold on. Let me guess. Biden is also cognitively fit for presidency. That's one of yours too, right? What else you got here? Hold on. Orange Man bad. Rocket Man bad. I got a couple more. Hold on. The people that needed the medication he raised prices on. It's kind of crazy. In capitalism, we try to get as many users of our product as possible. It is something we do. What else do we have here? What other narratives do you like? When you were, I told him in jail, I said, I'm a boss in the streets. That means I'm a boss in here. Never had a fight in prison, thank God. I had 2 situations that were a little hot. But in both cases, my boys came and squashed the beef. 3 situations, actually. 3. One was an addict that I was getting very kind of mad at. I was like very patient. I was just like trying to be really nice. I was like, look, man, this is frustrating me. You know, real kind. And that's the way you're supposed to handle it in prison, because nobody wants to go to the SHU, which is solitary confinement. This guy was shorter than even me. I'm 5'9". This guy might have been 5'5", like stunted growth, wasting my time, always just in the way. And so I was just like starting to get really frustrated. And I said something to this guy, and I was being polite, but he kind of snapped back at me. Before I could do anything, the big Albanian guy came by and grabbed the guy by like this. That guy was like 6'3" or something. Grabbed the guy by the scruff of the neck. It was like, and just started mushing him. Mushing is when you take your fingers and push somebody's temple. Like the whole jail watched. They were like, So, Taylor, I don't think you really understand medicine, but if you want to have a conversation, you can come to my Discord. If you want to get schooled and have a debate, you can come to my Discord. I'm happy to go the kind route. I'm happy to go the goblin mode route. But my guess is you're going to go the chicken route. I was cool with everyone in prison, thank God. A lot of my homies are out. I was in a low security prison. There are 4 levels, so I was in level 2. Level 1 is prison camp. Level 2 is low. Level 3 is medium. Level 4 is pen. Pen is where all that bad stuff you guys hear about happens. Real bad stuff. You turned this into a religious discussion? Come on. Listen, I've done more good for the world than you ever will. You and 100 generations of your progeny ever will. And when Allah judges you, you know what he's going to say? He's going to say, next. This is like just a blank page, nothing there. Nobody knows who you are, what you did. Next. It's going to say slight hater, internet troll. Next. Okay, so Corvus doesn't look like it ever published any papers on this drug. Yeah, I feel that way about religion too. It's largely just stories made up to make people feel better, and that's good. You know, we're starting to pierce the veil of reality with science. And I think that is something that will sort of give rise to new religion. Oh, the CEO is the corresponding author? It's always a red flag to me. Your job's to run the company, buddy. Trying to put yourself on papers. Even if you're a scientist founder, that's not your job, man. I don't know, Ryan. I think you could do a bunch of them. I mean, I do think it's going to go down soon, but, you know, I'm usually a little early to these shorts, as you can see. As my portfolio is painfully aware of. But, yeah, I'm just break even on Rigetti right now. Near term, long term, I don't know. It's tough because, you know, the implied volatility is up a lot. The actual volatility is up a lot. When you're short, you have to learn how to take pain. You have to learn how to hedge and take pain and do all kinds of things. Like, you know, shorting's not for the meek. When you're short a stock that goes from 1 to 7, you know it can go to 14. You know that. You come in here thinking you're going to pick the top, you're not going to pick the top. No, just because having a low price to book doesn't make it along. Otherwise, no stocks would have low price to book. I do have one cassava-like bet, which is why have not been showing my portfolio, because I'm trying to build it up, but it's a little hard to borrow. I don't know, Jake. I really don't. That's not the kind of thing I know. It's the kind of thing Humphrey would know. That's not very good. That's not good at all. My German friend wants to see you. He might make you into a little kebab or something. Come on. What do they call those? Schnitzel? You want to be a little schnitzel? Just a little schnitzel right here. Gosh. Tail becomes schnitzel. Schnitzel. Yes, I love you. I'm short the quantum computing complex, so IonQ, Rigetti. I'm like just slightly profitable. What I learned over time is, you know, a man's supposed to be soft sometimes and hard at other times. When I'm with my girl, I'm a softie. When I'm on Subway, pancreatic cancer is pretty tough. I think that one's going to be more about early detection. So there's a company called GRAIL that's doing some cool work in early detection. Once pancreatic cancer has spread, you're dealing with a multi-system disease. The pancreas isn't that important. So usually you don't detect pancreatic cancer until it's too late. And it's spread to important organs like the liver or the lung or something like that, colon. And then it's too late to cut all the tumors out, and there's tons of tumors, and that's why pancreatic cancer is so deadly. I mean, the pancreas does stuff, it's just not, you just won't notice it. Here's an example of how to use ChatGPT in doing your research. Here it says, atopic dermatitis involves multiple Th2-derived cytokines. The current therapies are limited by their activity on a subset of these cytokines. So the question is, what are the Th2-derived cytokines? Here's IL-4, IL-5, IL-13, IL-9, IL-10. I mean, Dupixent gets most of those. So we just want to see how Dupixent did. Especially if we can get Dupixent dog atopic dermatitis, that'd be really interesting. Spontaneous canine AD. Yeah, that's one of the first drugs they give, Todd. They're cheaper. Used to be the expensive one. Now it's a cheap one. The fact that 𝗣𝗏𝗀 is selling, it's pathetic. 𝗣𝗏𝗀's not even on a 250 million run rate. And it's got, look at the data, it's amazing. I mean, it's as good as, it's actually slightly better than dupilumab. So for anybody who's confused, dupilumab is Dupixent, which is Sanofi and Regeneron's big drug, which is one of the biggest drugs on planet Earth. It's selling, let's look at the latest statistics. Check the statistics. 10 billion. Actually, 14 billion in revenue. 14 billion in revenue. Abrocitinib's off to a very slow start. Like Dupixent was a rock star even early when it was starting. Beat Dupixent? Come on, homie. All on ITK? This dog data is just trying to look at the dog data, think about it as a parallel to the human data coming. which is usually pretty translates pretty well. Okay, next place my brain is going is, after reviewing this 266 ITK inhibitor papers, ibrutinib, atopic dermatitis. Somebody must have tried it. There was a Genentech paper. I guess you were away for a second. I was looking for you, medicine investor. There was a Genentech paper where they basically said that the ITK inhibitor had the paradoxical effect in animals where it actually made the asthma worse. Do we know what the PK is, medicine investor? Oh, probably from the cancer study. Sava is close to 250. And now with Matt Naktrav suing the company for the last remaining dollars, it's so funny. The shareholders suing just is basically to get the money, like for the class period. I don't know if that's any different from like a buyback. It's just ridiculous. Yeah, I still like the MicroStrategy short.